And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 7 o'clock here in Nashville, Tennessee, which means it is time to take a walk down the dirt road while the boys and me step that step and talk that talk on this week's episode of That Sawyer Brown Show. As always, you are joined tonight by me, Madison, Mark's firstborn and favorite daughter, and the rest of the incredible Sawyer Brown Nation. So grab a strong glass of iced tea or hot tea if it's cold in your neck of the woods. Settle in and get ready because look who just walked in the door. It's the men of the hour, or so they call themselves. Mark and Hobie.
Hello.
Hey.
Are you guys excited for our first ever Sawyer Brown show?
Absolutely.
I'm just excited that you're here and I don't just always have to hear from him. That's what I'm excited about.
Which is, interestingly enough, exactly what I was going to say.
Well, I will happily referee some of your conversations.
Yeah.
This is going to be a blast. We've been looking forward to this, and oh man.
We got all kinds of stuff.
Questions and answers. There's going to be a little music performance. You'll see some video clips.
We're going to do this every other week. So it's going to be on Tuesday nights at 7. And even when we're on tour, we're going to try to do it from the bus or wherever with all the new technology. Madison can be here in Nashville and still MC the show. But we're going to be talking about the tours and old times and new times and so
maybe even have a special guest pop in from time to time.
Yes.
There's just the floodgates are going to open. There's no telling what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I know. So guys, can you tell everyone what's going to be happening on tonight's episode?
Yes, we're going to start big. We know what our absolute hands down most requested song ever is, which is "Some Girls Do," a song that we could.
Hey, wait! Tell them who wrote "Some Girls Do."
Mac McAnally wrote "Some Girls Do." No, actually, that was Mark. That was one of those days he was firing on all cylinders. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the song itself, stuff that surrounded the writing when we first recorded it. Talk about the video. So just
talk about you. I'm sure at some point we're going to talk about you.
I see this all circling back to you, but that's okay. That's okay.
But it is the anthem for us ugly guys. So I that was my thought in writing it. Yeah. I have to write an anthem for all of us ugly guys out there.
And it has been celebrated as such, so that we're off to the races on that.
What do you got for us, Mags?
Well, I was about to say, do you want to talk a little bit about, so Dad, you wrote the song.
Yep.
When was the first time you guys actually performed it?
Well, the first time we actually performed it would kind of be within the studio because it was the first time we'd worked with Duncan. And that intro, that was Duncan. And that was the first time we'd been in the studio. It was actually before Duncan was in the band. So we had gone to Muscle Shoals to record it. And we had gone down with Mac McAnally, our buddy, and he had put together some guys to come over and hang out with us. And Duncan came over to play guitar. And at that time, Duncan was with the Muscle Shoals rhythm section. So the very first thing that we did was "Some Girls Do." And man, I know we were sitting out in the booth in the lounge and we were just talking. And I said, Dunk, I feel this song's pretty special. We're going to need like a really big time signature intro. And he just turned around and went back into the studio. And the first time we ran down the song, he had that intro and we were just blown away. Yeah. So that would have been the first time that we actually, performed it, other than when I wrote it. I had just had a guitar vocal that I sang for the guys. But
we played it. We were so excited with the way that it had turned out in the studio. We played it live one night way before it was ever on a record, and which we don't do a lot of that. And that song got a response like it was already a hit record. We've never had an experience like that. Because when you play something and people have never heard it before, people respond to things they know. But that song, it was like it was already out as a hit. And we thought, man, we may have something.
By the time we got to the end, they were singing,
it
but
back.
some girls do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's when we knew we may have us a winner here.
Yeah. So that's going to be our theme all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's talking about everyone's favorite song, because it kind of is everyone's favorite song. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and that's one of those. I mean, if
it's every human being's favorite song.
Oh my gosh,
ever
of all time.
Absolutely.
Sinatra once
Sure.
could have recorded.
Sure. You keep telling yourself that.
Oh, if we could have just gotten Dolly in the video.
Now we hear you have some tricks up your sleeve for us a little bit later on as well. So
that I do. I have some fun things that I don't think you guys have seen in quite a while. And thanks
this
to
could be scary.
media technology.
Just to let everyone know, we're a little nervous because we have
no
idea
what
she has up her sleeve. So,
but
Yes.
I do know some of the things that we've worn and done over the years, so it makes me a little nervous.
Are we going back to the 80s at some point?
Yes. Because I mean, I'm just saying we need to really relive some of the fashion choices that were made.
Wow. I don't know if that needs to be.
Yeah.
If need
is the right verb.
Is the right word.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, but it is. Well, okay. What I wanted to kind of ask you guys is going back to Some Girls Do. Obviously, it always goes back to Some Girls Do. Okay, so it is really popular though, in an anthem with today's even like hit country stars like Dierks Bentley.
Yeah, Dierks has this awesome 90s cover band, Hot Country Nights, as they bill themselves the second greatest country band from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And Dierks does Some Girls Do in the show. First time I heard this was several years ago during the country radio seminars. Somebody called me who was down at Dierks's showcase going, "You're not going to believe it, but Dierks Bentley's on stage singing Some Girls Do." And
I actually, when he came in to play Bridgestone Arena, he had me come out and sing that with him with their Hot Country Nights band.
Yeah,
and we had a whole dance routine, and I think somewhere on YouTube or whatever you could actually
there's
tell me about this. How do I not know?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for taking me with you.
Yeah. And someone told us that Luke Combs comes out to that song. They play it as he walks out on stage. I don't know if that's true, but we have heard rumors of that.
I like that. You guys are still out there giving every man his anthem.
That's right. It lives on. It lives on.
Well, I would say this. I do feel like tonight we would be very remiss if we did not talk about the music video.
Oh boy.
Now, let me just preface this with, when would have been the last time either of you would have watched the music video all the way through?
Oh, wow. I mean,
maybe since we actually had to critique it
when it first came out. Yeah. Unlike your dad, I rarely watch videos of myself. So, I would not have seen this in a long time.
Okay, well, without further ado, I think we should let everyone watch the amazing music video that was, drumroll, Some Girls Do.
Walked by my Cadillac. From the corner of my eye, I saw you and you laughed. You were sitting on the swing on your front porch, painting your nails like you were bored. And you yelled she was sure impressed with you. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't quite trash, and wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me, oh, but some girls do. time. You was laughing at me, I was doing James Dean. You was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. When you rolled your eyes and twirled my pink furred eyes. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't quite trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. Well, good old boys don't get no breaks, and rich boys think they got what it takes. But there's someone for each of us, they say. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't quite trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't quite trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. I said some girls do. You know some girls do. Like boys like me. You know some girls do.
Can I just start by saying how grateful I am that your dad has on sleeves now?
I was about to just say, like, can we talk about the fashion choices?
That was a brave
turtleneck, a long sleeve turtleneck, and he was in sleeveless. Like, God bless the 90s.
Well, I went and got out my John Deere hat, one of my John Deere hats, but I was going to actually bring some sideburns. And
maybe a mullet.
Yeah, those were righteous mullets. Those were mullets that were.
Those were mullets you could be proud of.
Loud and proud mullets. There.
Oh
man, I have not seen that in forever.
Yeah,
that was. We got to give credit to Mike Solomon, who was the director on that. This was early in our years of working with Mike.
Mike actually, I think Mike directed like 25 or 30 videos.
Yeah,
he had a run with us after that.
He's truly is the best. And also, two of our high school buddies were out on the road with us for the beginning.
Hathaway and Tom Morelli were out. First time we were all in LA together, and we were shooting a music video. So it was.
We couldn't have been more hillbilly if we'd had Granny strapped to the back in a rocking chair going down the road.
You had on a John Deere hat and a cut off sleeve shirt and like what, West Hollywood?
Yeah, exactly. Which is its own fashion statement for sure.
So let me ask. So when you're doing a music video, how many times do you actually have to film it before it's done? Like, do you do it once? Do you have to do it like 10 times?
That was literally probably 12 hours of.
I mean, probably 50, 60 times. You're sick of the song. Literally, by the end of the day, you're sick of the song. And you're going, wow, I don't even know if this is a hit song. But the funny part of that, and especially working with Mike, we would never know, like the vignettes when you saw like all the other actors that were in it. We weren't around when all that was filmed. So this was the first time we had worked with Mike Solomon. So this was all in his head. Mm-hmm. And so when we first saw it, we got a pretty big kick out of it because that's the first time we saw all the actors.
All that other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's your little medical fun fact from that video shoot. One of those points when your dad is like in the back of that car and kind of jumps in and lands down it.
Yeah.
He cut his hand.
It was like an old rusty Cadillac, and I just slit my hand.
So they had to come bring a doctor in and give him a tetanus shot. And it's a highlight for me because I know how much your dad cannot stand the thought of needles.
Mhm.
Not a big fan of shots.
So
He said,
the doctor
"What
gets
did
there. We were trying to get the doctor, give him the shot in front of the whole band. This could be a really bonding experience for us if you would just do this. But no, didn't
Well,
happen.
Hathaway and Tom Morelli did have.
That is
they
true.
did want to
That
watch.
is true.
They wanted
I
to
think,
see. They were hoping I would pass out, which could have happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was, it was one of those shoots that really is. Mike made stuff pretty fun.
Very memorable. We were so excited about the song.
Yeah.
And really, it was one of the first times that we got to hang out with Duncan a lot and kind of, had bonded. I think we had done a few shows up to that point, but it was, when Duncan was very, very new in the band. So it was really memorable and a fun time.
Well, I would say after playing the same song for 12 hours together, you might kind of.
If you can survive that, you can survive anything. That's right.
I mean, after that, was it kind of impossible to forget the lyrics to the song?
No, I have actually figured out a way to forget the lyrics a few times.
And my motto on that is, you wrote it the first time, you can write it, sing it however you want to. It's your song. The beauty of that.
Very well. At this point, it kind of belongs to the Sawyer Brown Nation. Let's be honest.
Exactly. It's not ours.
Yeah, they usually sing it louder than we do now, anyway.
True.
So.
Okay, so another question I have is, when you're actually coming up with a music video, like, who comes up with the idea for that? Did you guys come up with the idea for that? Was it Mike Solomon? How much of it?
Mike.
Yeah, is it all him?
Mike.
Yeah. Once we'd had a couple video directors that we weren't. We'll just say we weren't quite as confident in their skills. Mike did the walk, and we were sitting here trying to figure out which one was the first. The walk might have been the first video. We're not sure, but after a couple of working with Mike, he would literally. I mean, I remember on the 6 days on the road video, he said, "Hey guys, just be in Miami on such and such a day. And don't worry, you're going to look cool."
Yeah.
That was his treatment of the video.
There might be a section where you're like, "What's happening in this part of it?" And he goes, "Trust me."
Yeah. Just
okay.
So literally we realized we weren't video directors. We write songs and tour, and we're a band, and we pretty much let Mike Solomon, kind of take over the creative direction,
which he was incredible at. He really was.
Yeah, because you guys had some great music videos, and actually Robert wrote in, and he mentioned one of my other favorite ones, which is "My Baby's Gone."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So was that kind of all in the same era, or was that early?
"Baby's Gone" was early on.
It was early. Yeah. That one, people talk about that video all the time, the stomping out the light bulbs video.
Oh, yes.
At the end of that, your dad goes and does this dance stomping out the light bulbs.
Well, and that was a big thrill for us because the Jordanaires, who had sang up the very famous group that sang backup for Elvis, we were such a big fan, and they actually sang on the record, and they came and did the video with us.
And I mean, we were like begging for Elvis stories.
Oh, and they
were happy to.
Every
Gordon
break,
was incredible.
Every break, we got to hear Elvis stories, and from guys that were right there with him. Yeah. So you're
in the candy shop is essentially what you're telling me.
Absolutely. Yes. Have been for like 40 years. That's exactly what this life is.
Okay, well, I am looking, guys. We are getting so many live comments and questions from all of the Sawyer Brown Nation that I think that it might be time to roll into what I am so excited about, which is going to happen every single week on That Sawyer Brown Show, and that is that we are going to have a live fan question. So that means that every week we're going to have one fan that's chosen to video record a question that they're going to be able to ask you guys. And so since this is our first ever episode, I thought that we would be remiss if we did not ask basically the official president of the Sawyer Brown Nation, Cindy Martin herself.
There you go.
And then a video to ask you guys a question. So here it is.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you guys for doing this. I know I speak for everyone when we say we really miss you guys on the road. Secondly, I hope that you and your families are staying safe during this time. My question is about your songwriting process. I'd like to know if you typically write the lyrics first and then the music, or if a melody comes to you and then you write the words to fit the melody. And when you collaborate, does one person become primarily the lyricist and the other one the composer? Thank you.
Oh, great questions.
Wow. I know
First
for
of all,
me,
can we just brag
Oh,
on Cindy for a second?
yeah,
Cindy has been to
more than 1,200.
more than 1,200
She's
shows.
approaching 1,300 shows.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's incredible, the number of shows. And she's been all over the country to see these shows.
She literally knows more about the band than we do.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cindy.
She does not forget the lyrics, even on the nights that we do.
Yeah.
So, but she's gracious enough not to point that out.
Yeah.
But that's the perfect person to start with. But with songwriting, when the two of us have written together, which has been a lot over the years, it has happened in almost every form. It's never a set thing.
I think for me, generally, probably more times than not, I will think of a lyric.
I do too. It starts.
It starts with writing the lyric or a line, and then developing a sound around that. So usually for me it would be finding something that I got so excited about, especially in the day when, I mean, there for a few years we were cranking out an album a year, and so and you kind of get in a writing mode. You kind of like you start to think like a writer, and you're constantly making notes and writing stuff down all during the day, and then when you sit down you go through your notes. But for me, most of the time it would start with a lyric.
Yeah. And we've had some that basically it took no time to write, and then others that we've spent months going back and forth over where does the
and he doesn't know that I know this, but at sound check he would be playing something, and I would go, what is that? And he would go, oh, it's just something I've been working on. And I would go, okay. And I would just look at him and go, I'm in on that. I'm in on that.
Which is good.
But I know he would be just like,
No.
Yeah, come on.
That makes me sound smarter than I am, to be honest. No, but this, I mean, without a doubt, this guy is my favorite co-writer. So I've always enjoyed when we get to do that. So that's as nice as I'm going to get. So
I was about to say, wow, that sounds almost like
right?
Do we have that on tape somewhere? We've got to play that.
How long is this show? Because I'd like to know
again.
how long it'll have to go before he pays me a compliment.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we have a couple other questions that are written in
his sweater.
Facebook group.
I like his sweater.
Are you?
Oh gosh.
Are we being scolded? Are you scolding us?
Yes, we have fan questions to answer, and here you
Okay.
are picking at each other like you're 5 years old. I'm telling you guys, what am I going to do with them? I mean,
your 2-year-old is better behaved than we are.
that is not a lie.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we had some great questions written in this week. So Judy wrote in, I loved this question, actually. She had talked about going to concerts with you guys, with her parents and her kids, and she asked about any concerts that y'all might have gone to with your parents when you were younger.
Man. Well, my mom was a big country music fan, and at Chautauqua Lake in Ohio, when I was really little, she would go, and I got to see Hank Williams Jr. when he was just a kid, Porter Wagner and the Rhinestone Suits, and Dolly Parton. And so we would go, they would come to Chautauqua Lake, would have a concert about once a week in the summer. Mm-hmm. and we would go, and I think my mom actually got to meet Hank Williams Jr. at some point.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went, man, my folks were great when we were kids. We would go to shows, and I've seen some of my very favorite entertainers by going with my folks, whether it was my dad and I back in the day went to see Rosemary Clooney, who was a great favorite of ours. And my mom and I actually saw Elvis Presley. Yeah. What? Yep.
He was embarrassed. He said to this day that he's the only time he's been embarrassed because his mother went crazy.
It was a sign of my mom I did not know. And be careful going to Elvis Presley with your mom. I'm here to tell you. It's a whole different thing. September 4th, 1976. But
Did she
the
get a
best-
scarf?
She didn't get a scarf. Oh man, I kept thinking if he hands out a diamond ring, I'm going to push people over to get down there and get it. But it was amazing. I mean, it's Elvis.
Yeah.
So, and I had my little Instamatic camera way up in the bleachers taking a picture. And when you got my film developed and you get, there's like 4x6 pictures, and it's like all black except for one dot in the middle of white light. And my brother's great line was, "Oh, that's just like being there." I'm like, what a buzzkill. I knew that white dot was Elvis Presley. That's all I needed to know.
Well, I can really relate to going to a concert and seeing a side of your parent that you didn't know and being mortally embarrassed.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah. You might know what that's like.
Maybe like when you're like, oh yeah, my dad, my nice, somewhat normal dad, and then he's up there dancing like the Energizer Bunny at a concert. I'm sure that there have been lots of the Sawyer Brown fans that have taken their children to concerts, and they too have freaked out, and the children are like, what's going on?
What's wrong with that
We
guy?
got generations of that now.
So see, that memory is just, you passed it on. It's living, it's alive and well. Melanie asks, is there a song that is a fan favorite, but you guys do not enjoy playing? Dun, dun, dun.
No, not for me.
No, not for me
Not for
either.
me.
I mean, every song that we do, it seems to be, a favorite of someone out there.
Mhm.
And just to know that we sat either at our kitchen table or whatever, and or in our bedroom and wrote these songs, and get to go out all over the world and play them, and hear people sing along with us and see their enjoyment from it. You never get tired of that.
No,
Yeah.
it's and that night belongs to the people who've come to see it. And for some people, that's the only time they'll be there. And I remember first year I lived here in town, I spent $35 of money I did not have to go see one of my favorite artists who had really maybe 3 hits. And this person announced right off the bat, I will not be singing 2 of those songs because I'm tired of them. And I remember thinking, dude, what do you think I just paid $35 to hear? So, and I've never forgotten that, because I'm like, and in looking back, we've now sung our songs 1 million more times than that person had ever sung those 2 songs. And for me, it's like, man, I still love it. I love that people want to hear
We
it.
love that they love it and want to hear it, and
Yeah.
we're more than happy to play them and
Yeah.
excited about playing them.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm singing them down in the Kroger parking lot, where I'll be tomorrow night, by the way. If anyone wants to come
Oh
here,
my
Betty's being bad. I'll be in the Kroger parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay.
a regular Wednesday night gig for me. Don't be a judge.
Well, we have a couple more questions I would like to get to if you guys are done.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this was kind of fun. Jessica remembers that during the 90s in your concerts, you guys had a very bold claim that one of you was actually the Oscar Mayer kid. And I remember hearing that too. And I was like, you know what? I think we all need to get to the bottom of this, because I know so many people also heard this very bold claim.
Well, this is the way this happened. I think somebody either broke a guitar string, or we had some sort of flaw that happened on stage, and I needed to stretch. And it was spontaneous at the time, and it became very funny. And I would talk about, I was on this very famous commercial, and then I would sit down on the stage, and then I would start singing, "My baloney has a first name, it's Oscar," and the crowd would sing the song louder than we would.
Yeah.
So it always became, any time that I had to stretch or stall or whatever, I would do the Oscar Mayer song and tell a story like that I was that kid in the commercial. And I'm going to leave that up to the viewer, whether they want to believe if I was the kid or not. I'm not.
So
Take
it's
another look at that
stretching.
kid.
I'm not going to say either way.
Might have been of the
Take another look
truth.
at that kid.
He had dark curly hair, and
I mean, and look, you still got it today.
Right?
see,
Yeah.
see,
I can see the resemblance.
yeah.
And then I really liked this song because, we kind of are still in COVID. We're in kind of COVID now. And so Jenny asked, what is your favorite album from another artist? Because I'm sure we could all think about, what new music we can all be listening to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got mine.
You go first.
Endless Summer, the Beach Boys.
Oh,
Period. Boom. Put me on a deserted island. Give me one record. It's Endless Summer, the Beach Boys.
well, I can tell you a record that I have been listening to a lot the past week. And this is, well, it's not just this past week. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Greatest Hits.
Ooh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you just going to ask me?
Hey, they sing.
yeah. What
Hey,
about-
they sing higher than you do.
They do. They do. Oh my gosh. There's no cooler band probably ever than Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's
Phyllis
very
Bailey.
Philip Bailey, Verdine White, Joybringer. Watch that bass player in Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I dare you not to just love life. That's why I listen to that stuff. What about you, Max? What are you listening to?
Well, I have gotten on an oldies kick recently, and I'm not gonna lie, I like to jam out to Creedence Clearwater Revival. And you know who
Yes.
else
Well
likes it?
done. You are indeed the daughter
You were
of your father.
you were raised right, young
Yes,
lady. You
indeed.
were
And
raised
yes,
right.
and we're passing it on because I played it at bath time for my 2-year-old the other week, and he loved it.
That kid,
Yeah, so
that's the way to bring them up. That's the way to
family
do
musical preference
Yeah.
going strong.
it. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, it is time for personally what I'm the most excited about. The fan questions I was very excited about. But every week I have been going, I'm going to have this awesome segment that I'm just going to call the vault, okay? Where I am going to randomly find something from all of the Sawyer Brown memorabilia that I've been going through. And if anyone follows me on social media, my Instagram name is @CD_Madison_Brown and my Facebook is The Madison Brown. I have been going through a lot of Sawyer Brown memorabilia over the past couple of weeks, and I'm going to keep doing it. And so I thought, heck, this is so much fun. I'm having so many great memories looking back at all the stuff. We need to bring it out for everyone else to see.
Please be kind. Please be kind.
All I have to say is, in prefacing this, it's why? Are you ready?
Well,
Are you ready?
there's a lot of choices for that.
Oh,
right?
Mhm.
What is that?
Mhm.
It's like
Okay, can everyone see this?
it's
I would
like the
you to know
chicken fried X-Files. I
this
don't
came
know
out
what
of a, you know what? It came out of a Country Music Weekly. This was an ad that you guys took out to thank everyone at ACM for nominating you guys for. You guys were up for a slew of awards this year. I think this was around 1999. And this was the lovely video or the
What
picture
were-
that you chose to thank them with.
Wow.
right?
You're-
It looks like we're about to break
Now,
into your house.
in our defense, we never picked the ad pictures, but
But
I
you
mean,
took
we would get
picture.
these
You
artsy.
signed up and you took
I know.
We would get these artsy
I-
photographers that would come up with these ideas, and they wanted us to dress all in black.
Mhm.
And then they had these flashlights, and
Did they like
that's-
run out to Home Depot and buy the flashlights because they definitely are the time
Where were we going with these?
power goes out?
I
Yeah.
don't
wow,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, Kat, they are flashlights.
They are
I
flashlights.
understand who was like, I'm in the Home Depot flashlight aisle. This would make a great.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to thank you for enjoying our music right before we break into your car from the looks of that photo. Yeah, don't mind us as we skulk around in your outdoor hedges.
I mean, seriously, it looks like I don't know. Like, are you guys like making a mob movie? I'm just so confused.
Yeah, the X-Files or something.
You would have
Please.
the only thing to say is why.
Yeah,
Yeah, why? So
and
there.
we have no answer for you.
No, we
No
don't.
answer.
No, we don't.
So that's going to go back in the vault. Deep.
Please.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, it is about time for us to say goodbye. But before we go, I do want to say a couple of things. One, thank you guys so much for everyone that is tuning in live to watch our first ever That Sawyer Brown show. We are very happy to tell you that it's going to be live every other week. And then if you missed it or couldn't tune in for whatever reason, we're also going to have this on Facebook, on YouTube. You can subscribe and get all of the notifications so that you never miss an episode. And also, or it's going to be on a podcast near you. So if you're driving in the car, going on a walk, and you want to relive any of the fun, we're going to be able to listen to this whole entire thing. Every week, it's going to be archived. Also, please make sure that you are also keeping up to date with your concert calendar, because this week, Sawyer Brown, or I'm sorry, not this week, this month, Sawyer Brown is actually playing 3 different concerts. On February 16th, they're going to be in Jackson, Mississippi at the Dixie National Rodeo. February 19th in Newberry, South Carolina at the Newberry Opera House. And February 27th, they will be in Fort Pierce, Florida at the Sunrise Theater. So please, everyone, make sure to get your tickets. And because obviously things are kind of crazy during COVID, that, you know, they are getting back to normal. Make sure that you're always updating yourself. I would recommend checking in weekly because they're adding new dates all of the time, because I know all of us are so excited to get back out there to enjoy some live music and to, of course, see your favorite Sawyer Brown band. Also, please make sure that you're sharing this video with all of your favorite friends so everyone can know that you are a proud member of the Sawyer Brown Nation, as well as making sure that they don't miss out on any of the fun. Yeah, Dad, Hobie, any last words?
No, but we have prepared a little live version of the song that we've been that we've
no way
talking about.
New music. What?
Yeah, a little unplugged version.
And we'll see you all in a couple of weeks.
Yep, we'll see you on the 16th.
Yeah.
Awesome. Enjoy the new music until then, y'all. Bye.
She turned up her nose as she walked by my Cadillac. From the corner of my eye, I saw you and you laughed. You were sitting on the swing on your front porch, painting your nails like you were bored. And you yelled she was sure impressed with you. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash and wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. I yelled and asked you if you would like a ride. When we pulled out of your yard, I bought a tie. You were laughing at me, I was doing James Dean. You was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. When you rolled your eyes and twirled my pink fur dye. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. Come on. Yeah. Us good old boys don't get no breaks, and them rich boys think they got what it takes. But there's someone for each of us, they say. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. Come on. Well, I ain't first class, but I ain't white trash. I'm wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. I said some girls do. You know, country girls do. Like boys like me. Go on now.